Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Nourished Inside Out. I'm here with Dr. Gargi today. She is a medical doctor, a mental health counselor, and an author. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you so much, Anita, for having me here.
Absolutely. Do you mind telling us a little bit of your background and what inspired you to pursue medical school initially?
I am a medical doctor. So, what pursued me actually, it was a very logical decision to be a doctor at that point of time. I did not consider or did not know of many options, and it seemed, very much aligned with the empathy and the kind of help I wanted to provide people. Plus, my mother, she was diagnosed with a heart condition at that time, like when I was maybe in 8th or ninth standard. So that also propelled me, I wanted to move towards this career. I wanted to be a doctor, but I didn't know what kind of doctor I wanted to be. Then also, there were certain ups and downs in the career, in the pathway, and that kind of gave me a purpose and passion to become something related to mental health and align those two. So, something that started with me being empathetic and good in studies, because for being a doctor, you need to study a lot. That's what we are taught from, our childhood. So that I didn't have a purpose. So that shifted, and now I have a purpose, and I'm a medical doctor who is inclined towards mental health, and I am also a mental health counselor now, which happened by accident just because I was curious and I wanted to learn about psychology and how these things work. First, I wanted to help myself, and then it became a passion that I want to help others. I want to spread awareness. So that's how I became a medical doctor who is also a mental health counselor. And that motivated me to write my first book, which is Rebound, Rebuild, Reclaim, Take Charge of Your Life. So it's inspired from my story and like the first step towards awareness.
That's incredible. I like how you took your personal challenges and you put it into your career so that way you can help others. I think that's a lot of times, it's a very selfless thing to do. And I think it's an incredible thing to do because that also helps us find our purpose instead of doing something for our careers that we don't want to, because we can take our personal challenges and grow through them and help others.
Absolutely.
Yes. What challenges did you face when you were shifting careers from medicine to mental health counseling?
Okay, so like how I would like to address this question is that it's not exactly a career shift because I am building my career. It's rather unconventional and a non traditional pathway, what I am trying to do. And I don't know many people, like, I rarely know any person who is trying to do something in this domain. So, yeah, there are challenges because there are a lot of professions in the mental health domain itself, and there's a lot of conflict between, the different types of therapists and doctors. So there is a challenge of acceptance first and foremost, right? And different schools of medicines and other holistic approaches and non-conventional methods. So there's a rift, and what I want to do is I want to bridge them because I believe that holistic healing is really important, right? It's not that if I am a medical doctor, then prescribing medicine is the only solution. What I believe is that, understanding the concern and whatever the patient or the client requires, that is the ultimate solution rather than me trying to pretend that I'm superior and prescribing medicines is the only way because it aligns with my qualification. So I do not believe in that philosophy, and this philosophy is rather unusual. So, acceptance among the professionals, among patients. So, that is quite challenging. Bridging the two, the integration part itself is difficult. And then, when you are not following a conventional pathway, then you have to take unconventional route to reach your destination. So, that is a difficult one.
Do you think there is a demand for holistic growth in the medical world versus the conventional?
The answer is yes and no. If I talk like from the perspective of a patient, usually patients are tired, of sticking to the medicines. And I can say it from my experience that there is a certain limitation when we, prescribe medicines, right? You can only give a symptomatic approach or a systematic. It's very methodical, and you can help a patient to a certain degree. And health is holistic, yeah. When you want to treat a patient, it's a more holistic approach. And patients or people in general, they do try these approaches and they are getting results, right? So there's no right or wrong for, choosing the correct treatment modality. From the patient point of view, yes, there is, right? And to integrate this in among the medical world, it's a bit challenging, but I think it is happening slowly, right? It will take a few more years to even the professionals to realize this. I'm not trying to put a blame on anyone or challenge their knowledge or understanding or perspective, but this is my opinion and this is what I have been seeing. This is my personal take on this. And I think, yes, there will be a shift because it is required when you treat a person as a whole and when you consider the lifestyle, the diet, and everything, then you are treating the person completely, like the mind, body, and soul, everything is being concerned, right? Only medicines, they can be helpful in certain acute cases, right? If someone is having a heart attack or there is a medical emergency, then no doubt the traditional conventional methods, the surgeries, they are the only possible solution. But when we're talking about lifestyle disorders and the stress and all this hectic lifestyle, the problems that are growing with that, the chronic ailments, we really need a holistic approach to cater to these. And slowly and steadily, I think this will be the only modality that would be able to deal with all such problems.
Amazing. Thank you for sharing that. I think it's something important to be aware of and be mindful of as well, because I think a lot of times we immediately want to go down the conventional route, but there are other routes that we can take without having to take the medication and the conventional route. Because a lot of times, correct me if I'm wrong, but the conventional medicine, it can also leave longer term effects on you versus doing holistic things like, for example, maybe yoga, mindfulness. And what are some like tips and techniques that you would recommend to somebody when you're trying to bridge the two together holistically?
Oh, as you mentioned, awareness is the key. You should be aware, first of all, what is happening. So you should have that kind of awareness. How is something affecting you? On what level? Is it like on a physical level, mental level, emotional level? And then we need to create easy access. People should, have that kind of knowledge that there are these kind of professionals or professional help that is available. For example, most of the time, what I have seen is that when a patient comes to a doctor, he thinks he's going for a particular problem, but the reason behind it is completely different, right? And I've also seen in my personal life. So I had, like, when I was a medical student, so I used to have these anxiety attacks and, breathlessness and shortness of breath. And at that time, I thought I have some issue with my respiratory system because I was from the conventional team because I was going to be a doctor. So that was my first approach. At that time, I did not understand it that well. And I went from doctor to doctor. I went in Russia. When I came back home during my holidays, I visited so many doctors here in India. And ultimately, my pulmonologist told me to consider that it might be anxiety. So that was the first time I actually realized that, modern medicine has certain limitations and there are things which are beyond the conventional treatment. I was going to be a doctor and I couldn't find a treatment for my breathlessness. No medicine was able to help me, but mindfulness and accepting that I had anxiety treated my anxiety. I used mindfulness techniques like journaling, then meditation, and recently I've explored so many other techniques as well. So we actually do not have that kind of information with us. That's why I really believe in spreading awareness. There are options available, and people do try these options, and they should know that, there is no one fit all solution, right? So you need to explore. You know, maybe just acceptance helped me treat my anxiety. And if some other person has anxiety, it might not work for them. Maybe journaling might work for them. Or if it is on a serious level, on a serious stage, then in that case, medication can also be considered. So there's no wrong or right. What really depends it, what are your symptoms? You are at what stage? And what is the root cause? So, if you target the root cause and then you see how your body is responding and what your body needs, what you need, what are your goals, that is where, everything comes into place. So, it's like you need to figure it out. It all starts with awareness, as I said.
And like that you said, finding the root cause, because like you mentioned earlier, like patients will come to you expecting an answer or some kind of solution to what they're coming to you with their problem, but they're not coming to you with the surface problem. It's more so where did it start and where did it come from? That's really important because I think a lot of times, like we look at the surface and we think, how can we heal the surface? But in reality, it's how can we go back and find where it started?
Absolutely. Because if we are just trying to give, symptomatic treatment and we are just trying to cure on the surface level, it will come back. I have manifested anxiety in almost all the ways possible. I have had all the symptoms that you can read about anxiety on Google or on in any book, and I have had them all. And I stopped having them when I healed myself, when I worked on the root cause. Why was I getting anxious? So that's where mindfulness and other unconventional methods helped me over medication. I never took medication for anxiety, being a doctor myself. Since I had that kind of knowledge and I had that kind of opportunity to look for solutions, I did that. Similarly, like it's difficult for people who are not from this background to really understand because already they are going through so much in their life. So, in that case, if we professionals have that kind of acceptance for all modalities and we can help them, we can give them knowledge, we can guide them, that would be, missing key, I believe.
What role do you think diet, exercise, and lifestyle changes can play into mental health treatment?
Oh, this one is my favorite because they don't really teach you nutrition to that extent during your medicine. At least I haven't been taught, and it was of great interest to me. No, your life has your mind, body, and soul. So it's all connected. When you want to heal on a complete level, you need to take care of your lifestyle. So it's not just for mental health. Your lifestyle is key for complete holistic healing for your physical health, for your mental health, for your emotional health, and also for your spiritual health. You are what you consume. So if you eat good, you'll have good physical health, good mental health, everything would be good. And if you think good, then your life will have good. Whatever you eat, whatever you consume, it is going to affect you in that particular way. So that's it. You are what you consume.
You are what you consume. That's true. I like how you said that. It's simple, but we can't overcomplicate it. If we're going to choose to eat french fries and a hamburger, of course, we're not going to feel the very best the next day. But versus like a salad or something healthier, then definitely it's what you put in is what you get out. What has been the most rewarding part of your journey from going to medical school, becoming a doctor, and becoming a mental health counselor and putting the two together?
The results. the feedback that I get and the messages. I save them. And whenever I doubt myself, and then I go back to these messages and I look at them, and it kind of reaffirms me that what I am doing, it's different from others. And like being different doesn't mean it's not good. I have a different approach. I cannot say that my approach is the only best approach, but it's a good approach. I believe in my approach and it is helping people. So when they come back and they can get that kind of help, and that is the most rewarding thing. Sometimes I even cry reading some messages because I was able to help somebody. That empathetic kind of part in me, that takes over, like that takes superpower in that.
One of like the most rewarding things on our self-growth and self-love and healing journey is that if we can help at least one other person, then you can sleep better at night because you know you've made a difference in somebody else's life. Something that I've always been thinking is I want to be the person that I needed when I was growing up or the person that I needed when I was going through challenges. And the fact that you can balance out the conventional and holistic medicine, I'm sure it can impact a lot of people and not just their mental health, but their daily life, physically, mentally, emotionally.
I really liked how you put it because that were my exact words. If I can make difference in at least one person's life, I have won in life. And it's the only thing that drives me. That if I could be that person I needed when I was going through a lot of things, when I was depressed and I had horrible thoughts and I felt like my life has no meaning, and I needed someone. And, I like to mention it because I consider Bob Proctor my mentor. I saw his videos and he was that person for me. And when he asked in one of his videos who you are and what you want to do, who you want to be, not what others want you to be, but what do you want you to be and what do you want for yourself? And then what voice came, I could hear it in my ears that, I want to be that person. I want to be that help I needed the most when I was during the worst phase of my life. So, yeah, it is something that drives you, and it has only given me that purpose to do something in mental health and holistic health field. This really drives me.
That was beautifully said. I like how you said, who do you want to be, not who do others want you to be? Because growing up, you're around certain people, you see certain examples, and you feel like that's what you need to be. That's the kind of person you need to grow up to be. But once you realize that there are other opportunities out there are other life paths that you can take, it's incredible to be able to find who you are because where you grow up may not be the person that you're going to grow up to be, but you can go out, explore, find a different path, and bring that to the community that you grew up in, and also bring those differences in.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I remember I met this one girl and we were just having a good conversation. And she was just asking, she's like, who do you want to be in 5 years? And I really thought about it. I was like, well, I want to do this, I want to do that, and I want to be here. And she's like, okay, but how do you feel? How do you want to feel in 5 years? How do you want to look in 5 years? How do you want to dress in 5 years? And on. And it really got me thinking. And I think once we start to take apart who we want to be and really dive deep and get that image in our head, then it's easier to choose our daily actions and our daily habits based on that as well.
Absolutely. See, the thing is, we are not that much self aware. Like on a general level, I'm not, pinpointing anyone, but self awareness, it's rare actually. So as you give an example, I'd like to give one myself. I was taking this art therapy session, and there was this lady, and very nice, very sweet lady. I had to decide what kind of activity I wanted to do. So I chose this activity, like who you are. not what others think about you, but who are you on, the internal level. And she was so perplexed. She didn't know, and she would have been like some middle-aged woman, maybe in her 40s, and she didn't know about it. For 40 years of her life, she had been taking care of everyone around her, but she didn't have the time to take care of herself. So it's a very profound question. And self-awareness, it's amazing because I believe, that simple things have profound impact in our life. We tend to complicate things, right? We want to go after a lot of things and do what others want us to do. And this is creating a lot of, lifestyle disorders, the stress, the anxiety, the worry, negativity. But once we start to ground, become mindful, become self aware of who we are, and accept ourselves truly, embrace ourselves completely. This is my favorite two words: accept the imperfectly perfect version of yourself. This has a ring to it, and I truly believe it. We are not perfect, not even close to perfect. We are imperfect. But when we accept ourselves, when we are aware of what the problems and what the flaws we have, of what conditions we are going through, that's when healing starts. So it is applicable everywhere on like the complete, because I was talking about holistic health, so I wanted to bring up this up that when you want to live a better life, a good life, you have to work on all the domains, and you must consider whatever works for you.
Yeah, it's beautifully said. It's it's so easy to get caught up in the I need to be this person, I need to be that person. Because growing up, like ever since you're a kid, they say go to school, get a good education, get a good job, find someone to spend your life with, get a house, the whole 9 yards. But it's something that I've learned just these past couple of years. It's everybody's dream life is different. Everybody's path is so different, and that's not for every. I didn't go to college. I ended up going to cosmetology school instead. My parents were like, "Cosmetology school?" They're like, "Why?" They're like, "What about college?" And I'm like, "Yeah, but I like doing hair. Like, I'm a creative person like that. I'm not the person that's going to go to college for 4 years and on." And I think it's just really important for us to find our path. And I really like how you said that.
Yes, because if we start to, accept ourselves, I think half of our problems would be solved like that. We think about a lot of things, it affects our mental health, it affects the quality of our thoughts, and then it turns into psychosomatic symptoms, it starts affecting your body. It's a cycle. Everything is working in cycles. So if you start taking care of your mind, of your body, automatically your health will improve, the overall health, your physical, everything is connected. So you cannot part one aspect of your life from the other. It's a very famous quote. One of my mentors told me that how you perform in one domain of your life, that is how you're going to perform in all the domains of your life. If suppose your personal life is chaotic, you're going to have a chaotic professional life, a chaotic health, everything will be chaotic. So when you start taking charge of one aspect of your life, automatically everything falls back into place.
Absolutely. I completely agree with that. What are some things that you have done that have helped you balance out being a medical doctor and bridging the mental health counseling? Because being a medical doctor, that's a full time job and it's a big role and a big responsibility, especially switching to the holistic. So, what are some tips and techniques that have helped you?
I'm still in my building my career stage. So, it's still work in progress. And what I try to do is I try to see a problem without filters. I do not label it. I try to consider what are the other options and, what we can do about it. So, I think how I have overcome my own life, how I have taken care of my life, that is how I proceed or I want to proceed in my professional life as well. Right. So that is what is the base of my whole philosophy or perspective, whatever you want to call it. So that's what drives me. So, yes, it is difficult. And as I told you earlier, also, acceptance is also difficult. I do get and I do face criticism for not standing to only one particular school, and get criticized from both the directions. So, it's about creating a balance. And I am self aware. I know what I want to do and what I want to create, right? That propels me to bring the two and bridge the gap. Maybe it is not as receptive in the current years or in certain domains, but I think with time, people will accept because of the kind of results this bridging and working on holistic health works. So I hope I answered your question, right?
Yes, you did. What kind of advice would you give to someone who has a career like yourself, who is a medical doctor and wants to do something else to incorporate it into their medical career, like a mental health counselor, like you said? What advice would you give to someone?
I would say that it won't be an easy ride. It is going to be a roller coaster, and it is a fact. But when you are working for your passion, when you are driven by something greater than yourself, when you have a goal, you're going to make it through. You're going to face all the challenges. See, what happens is people, they commit to a career, they come to a certain point in their life, and then they are not fulfilled by what they are doing. And then there is this midlife career change and midlife crisis that happens. If you do not listen to your heart and you just follow what others want you to do, you may end up in that position. But if you listen to what your heart wants, what you want to do, and embrace yourself, embrace everything about yourself, your passion, and just move forward in that direction. You're going to make it. I'm still not there. I'm still work in progress. I plan to do my master's, and I plan to have my own setup where I'm able to take care of people from all domains, and like being a coach or a doctor or mental health professional, I want to help a person get that right kind of treatment. So I really want to build that kind of community. So I'm not exactly there, but I'm a work in progress, and it drives me. Of course, if you have the right support, that also really drives you. So go for what you want to do, and just be honest with yourself, what you want to do in life. And if your purpose and passion is defined, I think there's nothing that can stop you. Even if you face failures, I believe failures are good teachers and failures are labels. So, labels that we put on a particular timeline, if we just zoom out a little bit, nothing is a failure. Either it's a life lesson, or it's an experience, or you succeed. Just go after it. Don't think about it. I am doing it. If I can do it, you can do it too. Listen to your voice, your own inner voice, and go after it.
I really like how you reiterated that you're a work in progress because I think that a lot of times we need to remind ourselves that we're not perfect, but we are a work in progress. And it's so easy for us to just look at someone else who is in a similar field and be like, They're doing this, but we're not fully there yet or up to their level, but we're a work in progress. We're getting there. And it's so easy for us to beat ourselves up and be hard on ourselves. But we need to just remind ourselves we are a work in progress and we will get where we want to be, just one step at a
Absolutely.
time. So, you mentioned that you wrote a book. Tell us about your book and how you came about that. We'd love to know more about it.
My book is called Rebound, Rebuild, Reclaim, Take Charge of Your Life. The title, I cannot take the credit for the title. My brother came up with the title. So I had this idea, and my brother helped me come up with this beautiful name. And I just absolutely love this title because, I have made this book in such a way. It has three sections: a section for rebounding in your life, a section for rebuilding it, and then reclaiming it. So, what I had in mind when I faced a setback, I was miserable and I needed something. So, whatever I learned, whatever I could gather, I just put all of it into this book and I tried to make it very simple. It's a very simple read. Maybe you might find, that, there are other books where you can find such techniques, but I have tried to make it in such a way that even if you don't know anything about this self help journey or self growth journey, it's going to be that first step. It's going to motivate you, it's going to show you that roadmap. So, like, it's going to make you self aware that, okay, something is not working in your life and how you can go about it. It's a very simple concept, but it's close to my heart because I have gone through this system myself. That's about it. That's the book. And it has two stories from real life people that I know. I have interviewed them. So I have tried to, include real examples. So I interviewed to people who are from the same field who rebounded from their own struggles in life, and I also have an interview with a psychologist. So if someone is into mental health issues and they're not very comfortable going for a therapy, as I told you, I really believe in giving that knowledge and that awareness what kind of help is available. So we have tried to answer those questions in that section. So, when you should seek help and what help is available, what kind of help is available. That is about my book.
That's incredible. Thank you for sharing all of your knowledge and all of your tips with us.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Where can people find you? Where can people support you? Get your book? Let us know.
Okay, so I have this website. It's www.embracelifewithdrgargi.com. That's my venture. That's my work of my life. Embrace Life with Dr. Gargi. That's the kind of venture I have created. A place where people can get that kind of help. It's there, and I have an email if people want to connect via email. It's Embrace Life with Dr. Gargi, adding the book, and you can also get it from my website. It's there on Amazon, right? And if someone wants to connect, I do offer a free discovery call. So it's completely free of charge. And even if someone is, going through some struggle and they're unable to find the right kind of help, I am really happy to help. They can book a call, no charges, nothing. And maybe I can refer to someone or I can guide them, help them with, the kind of awareness and refer them to someone who can help them better. So I'm also open for that.
That's incredible. Thank you so much for everything today. I'll go ahead and have your links put down in the description so people can stay in touch with you. Thank you for your time today, Dr. Gargi.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Aneta, for this wonderful opportunity. Really grateful.
Absolutely.